So, I don't know what happened, but it is absolutely necessary to pick up where the other video stopped recording, because we are entering easily my favorite part of the video.
Stuff. Not me. Then the pièce de résistance, the 18+ section, because of course there was an 18+ section.
Not
Here
safe for work
I
stuff.
became Chuck
I will say
Nasty.
that.
A moose ripped from a 70s beefcake calendar, antlers like a chandelier, a beard you can get lost in for hours. Absurd, magnificent, a Freudian fever dream of manhood. But here's the thing, kids. Art is a mirror. And in this fun house of strokes and shades, I saw my reflection fractured. Each piece true, each one a lie. But staring at those canvases, I felt that old familiar itch, the hunger that follows you home, even after the last shot's poured and the lights flicker on. God said it was closing time, but my soul wasn't ready to go. None of it was me. Not really, just shadows on the wall, stories half told. But isn't that the point? You keep moving, keep searching, even when you know the answer's probably in some kitschy restaurant half a world away, waiting with an espresso martini and a shrug. I still didn't feel that connection that I was looking for. The first day of the convention had passed, and the second was coming to a close, and I was starting to get desperate. I knew I still had those foxes that Justin had promised, but something inside me told me to take a step back and seek some clarity elsewhere. So, we went to the one place that could offer guidance, the one place that could put me in touch with the world, the cradle of civilization, the Rainforest Cafe. Shit.
No, as I said in my original, yep, it's still going good. I don't know what happened, but basically, I have not been to a Rainforest Cafe in a long time, but also what I said in the first shot was, I was kind of feeling like this my first couple weeks into the fandom, where I had not really found an identity. Granted, he only had a couple days. I had the advantage of having quite a few weeks and talking to other furries and learning who I would be in this fandom. And I have found that out. But, I mean, granted, design-wise, I'm still working on my 2.0 persona, but I know who Shadow, I've been messing with the name a lot, but I finally locked in Shadow. I know who Shadow Moonray is.
Shakespeare often used the forest as a place of escape, where the normal transcended into the magic, and the nefarious. In Midsummer Night's Dream, the forest serves as a refuge for the lovers. Oppressive patriarchal values morph and twist into a surreal, magical, and often terrifying storm. I thought the Rainforest Cafe would be a reprieve, but nay, it was the eye of the storm. The animals leered at me with their sultry gazes. I browsed the menu, but could only settle on 3 espresso martinis. The grandfather ape rewriting my mind. Are you worthy to hold the title human? The storm, the forest cat, the ape again. The lightning swirled into a halo, the white light illuminating a cheetah. Can you outrun yourself, Brother Chip? How long can you hang on to your facade? No one else but me understood these questions. Tree Frog is Atlas holding the weight of the world in his palm. Croc lifting its maw. Stick your head inside, I won't bite.
I'm Team Maws, not Team Paws. Sorry, I love the move of my mouth. Gotta be Team Maws.
The noble elephant. Bang! 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 Bang!
A little over dramatic there.
I came to the rainforest for clarity, but in the end, all I got was murky river water.
My favorite part
I gained
of the
nothing
video.
from Grandfather Ape, nor Brother Chimp, nor the cheetah, nor the croc, not even the noble elephant. In the end, I felt exactly like the fish tank at the entrance. Empty, cold, and alone.
I will say, that's how I felt my first 2 or 3 weeks in the fandom. Like an imposter. Like I didn't know who I was anymore. But that's also why I entered the fandom. To try to find the me that I had lost. doesn't want to go to third day at the fandom convention. He's making it a little dramatic, but I believe he really didn't want to.
I didn't want to go to the convention day 3. I was beaten down. I was hopeless. I was to blame. I was the fool. But in my lowest moment, Justin reminded me, there will be foxes. How was I so blinded? Of course, live foxes at the furry convention.
I do know
It's as
some
if I
conventions
were
do
in the
this.
room with Vermeer and that girl who wore an earring
But
of pearl.
ironically,
The
this
fox
thing he's been waiting
and the fur
for
fox.
only pushes him even
I had to
deeper.
see it. I reluctantly went back to third day, not knowing what was about to happen. We searched for the foxes. We searched up, down, left, and right and saw nothing. We searched, and there were no foxes to be found. And I almost walked out that door, but then I took one last glance behind me, and I saw a little furry red whisker. I gazed into the fox's enclosure as if I was waiting for it to speak, to have it give me that answer that I so desperately needed. My ears perked, but nothing came. As I stared into the fox's eyes, all I saw was my own reflection looking back at me. The fox meandered around its habitat, unaffected by the outside world, not looking to impress, not looking for external validation. The fox was just simply living, just doing what it does, doing what came natural, what gave it comfort. The thing that's beautiful about the fox is in its simplicity. We're so concerned about things outside of our control, of how others may or may not perceive us. It becomes a prison, a cage. But even in the cage, the fox remains free. Before coming to this convention, I was hesitant. Only the promise of this small, furry critter could draw me out. But after crawling out of my shell and meeting everyone here, I made some new friends. So go outside of your comfort zone. Jump into that unknown. Do something that scares you. Maybe you'll find that the things you were most frightened of weren't really that scary at all in the first place. Maybe you'll find that among those that you once judged, you can find new friends, new understanding. And maybe, like everyone I've met at this convention, we should all live with a little more whimsy. We should all be a little less afraid of what others are thinking. We should all do what we truly love, do what makes us happy, what makes us feel comfortable. And maybe even we should do a little more of what makes us feel weird. Because maybe weird isn't such a bad thing. Maybe being weird gets us one step out of that cage. The furry community taught me.
So, what he said is completely true. As you may have known, I was originally an anti-furry because I thought this was weird and all that. And I was at a point in my life where I had kind of conformed to what everyone expected of me, what everyone wanted, and I had kind of lost that childhood whimsy that I had so loved so much. And I do feel like doing this has actually allowed me to get some of that whimsy back. Essentially be a child again. You're gonna see, I would love to talk about the photo shoot. We're not gonna do that in this video, but I'm gonna have more photo shoots with them. There was something about going there yesterday, and even though the fursuit was not fitted yet, it's gonna be even crazier. Like if you go to my TikTok or my Instagram right now, there's something about just kind of walking down that bridge, just being goofy, dancing, or doing a dog pile on top of them, or just freaking riding the train in my mask. It still felt weird, and yet, even though it felt weird, it felt right. I really felt like I was letting myself loose. And it honestly gives me hope that at my first furry convention, I might actually really enjoy it.
A lot of things over the weekend, but most of all, they taught me to just be me and not to worry about that outside noise. There's always going to be ridicule and there's always going to be judgment, but as long as you have a community of people who accept you for who you are, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to be me, and everyone at that con accepted that. They accepted me for being me. Fursona or no fursona. They treated me like I was one of them. So, there was only one thing left to do.
So, that video, like I said in the first half of this, that video will always go down. Finn the Panther, I will always be grateful for helping me understand what a furry really was, or more specifically what I should say is helping me understand that yes, I could indeed be a furry, and like how to get involved and give me my chance to actually enter the fandom. But I have now realized I had been thinking about it for several months because of this video. Because it was the video that essentially made my anti-furry attitude do a complete 180 and realize that in this moment in my life where I had essentially lost my social life, where I had, to be honest, become someone else and lost that weirdness, that sense of myself, the part of me that I used to absolutely love, that didn't care what people thought of me. Over the past couple of years, I've had those two parts of me fighting in me. A part of me that wants to be weird, that wants to embrace all this, and that doesn't care what people think. Fighting with a part of me that cares too much, perhaps.